Hey guys, so I'm finally sitting down to film my fitness journey. I'm not going to be able to cut or edit this. I'm just going to upload it the way it is. So if it's a little raw, sorry. But if I look this way, I've got notes. So make sure I keep myself on track. I also had Kyle go through everything with me to make sure I didn't miss anything or leave anything out. But I'm going to try to be as open and honest with you guys. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about the physical aspects, the psychological aspects of it. There's a lot of psychological aspects to weight loss, and good and bad. So, I do want to say, disclaimer, there are a lot of ways to do things. There are a lot of ways to lose weight. There are a lot of diets, a lot of programs. This is how I did things. This is how I'm doing things. I learned a lot and I'm still learning a lot. So I just want to put that out there. I don't know everything by any means, but this is what I do know. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. If you do, let me know, give me feedback, leave me a comment, send me a message. And if you want more things like this, let me know. All right, so I'm going to start backstory with my childhood. June 16th, 1993, I was bundle of joy. No, I'm just kidding. So as a child, I played softball a lot. I played on rec teams. I loved it. I had great teammates, and I don't want to say I don't know. That's another thing. Like everything's my opinion and in my brain, so I don't know if any of this is true. I should interview my mom to ask her what happened when I was younger, because all I know is what I remember, and it might be warped because that's how childhood is. So nobody ever made fun of me for being bigger or overweight. I was never like bullied as a small child. I did, however, compare myself to my teammates' athleticism, so I knew very quickly that I was not as athletic as them, if that makes sense. Like we would run laps and like my teammates would be running laps and I'm dying. And so because of that, I kind of knew that I was unhealthy. I don't know. And then I also think, like, was that just in my brain? Like, was I actually totally fine and could run laps, but I was just hyper comparing myself? I don't know. But I know that kind of after that, I always like felt like I can't do X, I can't do Y because I'm fat or I'm not athletic, which is dumb because now I feel like I would be totally athletic as an adult. Anyway, so that was my childhood. It was great. I had a great childhood, but for athleticism, that was about it. We never really ate too bad in my house growing up. We always cooked. We would have like pizza nights here and there, and my mom worked third shift, so a lot of times my dad, my sister, and I would make some fun, exciting fried food extravaganza, but for the most part, family meals. My parents taught me about food and nutrition. My mom especially, she's a nurse. So I was no stranger to knowing what I was putting in my body. I was very well taught by my parents. So middle school, I tried out for our softball team. I did not make it. Continued to compare myself to other people's athleticism. Continued to deteriorate my thoughts of myself and how athletic I was. So in high school, I found other ways to engage. I was in choir, theater. I did the color guard in our marching band. I was very good at it, in my opinion. I loved it. It was something I could be good at, although I was still one of the biggest girls in the team and not as athletic. But you don't have to be very athletic to be in marching band. Just athletic enough. So that was good for me. It was really motivating and encouraging for me to be able to do something and be part of something. As far as like psychologically in high school, I had an amazing, large group of friends. I felt loved. I never felt bullied or outcasted, really. Now, mind you, in high school, just to give you an idea of what size I was, my prom dress, which I just found recently, probably about a year ago, was a size 16. And now I think I wear like a size 10 dress. So that's what size I was in high school. Boys dated me. I had boyfriends. I had good friends. No one made me feel outcasted. I knew that I was bigger, but I didn't care because everything was fine. I was on color guard. I was made good grades. I was going to college. I was in choir. I was dating people, being friends, going out, having fun. So whatever. Then I went to college. I went to ECU. And I roomed with my best friend from freshman year until I graduated, Erica. So college is like the introduction to freedom. You can do whatever you want. So it was the introduction to being able to really eat whatever we wanted and also work out whenever we wanted. So it was my intro to gyms and working out. I never had gone to a gym or really worked out outside of like team sports. So Erica and I would go to the campus gym and do cardio together, and we'd go eat Subway and be healthy. But that was always combated with bouts of eating Bojangles and Cookout and McDonald's and pizza at 3 a.m. and drinking a lot. So that was a cycle. We would always get into little health kicks for about a month or two and then binge eat and drink because we could. So God knows what it would have been like if I hadn't gone through those healthy bouts. They're probably good for me. But nonetheless, I remember one time I got very excited because we were in a health kick and I got down to 250 and I was really proud of myself for weighing 250. I don't know how much I weighed before that, but I was excited I weighed 250. So that was the beginning of college, really. Again, boys dated me. I had good friends. I was doing good in school. It didn't really prioritize health because everything else was going well. I was doing really well in school. I had really good friends. Didn't care. So what next? I met Kyle in 2013. It was my junior year of college, and we started dating. And then I gained happy weight. So if you've ever, this is not everyone, but most people get in relationships and gain happy weight, whether it's 10 pounds or 20, 30, 50. I don't know how much weight I gained, but I was just happy. I wasn't working out. We were skipping class and eating Bojangles, staying up all night, ordering pizza. I mean, like, whatever. Like, you're happy, you're in love, you're in school, you're doing good. I didn't care about how much I weighed because I was in a happy relationship and everything was fine. So, we dated and everything was good. And I went home for Thanksgiving, my last semester in college, so fall of 2014. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Greenville, North Carolina is where ECU is, so it's about a 4.5-hour drive. And I drove home from Charlotte to Greenville without stopping. And then I carried on with my life at school. And that Monday I got back to school, I had a lot of pain under my, like, right under my bra line, kind of. It felt like a running cramp, but, like, it wasn't, like, severe. It just felt like a running cramp. So I lived with it for a day. I was a tutor for chemistry, so I, like, went to my job and tutored. I went to class. I went and did my research. I was doing a research study. And I carried on, and then the next day, same thing. I went to school. It was a Tuesday. I did everything normal. I was on campus, and then I went home, And I went back to my apartment and I laid down, and I was having this pain the whole time. And I laid down and I took a nap at like 6 p.m. and I woke up and I couldn't breathe. And I told my roommate, I can't breathe. Can you take me to the ER? And she was like, yeah, of course, of course. So Tori, you're the real MVP. So she drove me to the ER in Greenville. I called my mom. I said, hey, I can't breathe. I'm going to the ER. Why am I emotional? She was like, okay, well, like, you're probably fine, because growing up with a nurse as a mom, but she was like, but if you feel like you need to go, go. So I went and checked in. My my blood pressure was, I don't remember what it was, but it was through the roof. And she was like, oh, you have high blood pressure. And I was like, something's wrong with me. So they admitted me very quickly because I couldn't breathe. And they did a bunch of scans. Oh, I forgot to say that I had calf pain a few days before that as well, but I thought it was just because me and Erica had been going to Zumba classes, and I was like, oh, I had been jumping around, my calf is sore, whatever. No, that was not why my calf was sore. So I went to so I'm in the hospital, and they do a ultrasound of my calf, because I told them it was sore and there was nothing in there, no blood clot. They were looking for blood clots. And then I had a CT scan done of my chest, my lungs. And I had a lot of very small blood clots in my lungs, which is why I couldn't breathe. So I had suffered from a pulmonary embolism, which is when a blood clot goes to your lungs. It's like the equivalent of a stroke, but for your lungs. And it is life-threatening. A lot of people get them and just die instantly. So I think what had happened was I had one in my calf, and it broke free and broke into a bunch of different pieces and went into my lungs. So I made light of it then, and I'll make light of it now, because if I don't, I'll cry. But Kyle was at the time working in Raleigh on a third shift job, and it was the middle of the night. So he left his job, and he didn't quit. He left and came to Greenville because he had already graduated college. And they put me in a room for 2 days. They put me on blood thinners. Because you can't do anything. You can just go on blood thinners and hope that they go away. So I was in there for 2 days. My mom came immediately as soon as she found out from Charlotte. My pulse rate finally went down. I think when I was admitted, my resting pulse rate was like 130. So long story short, they dissolved. I was on blood thinners for 6 months after that. But it was scary. I was on birth control, an estrogen birth control. And if you don't know, estrogen thickens your blood. So I was incredibly obese on birth control, which thickens your blood, and had just driven 4.5 hours without moving. Therefore, like those were my factors. We did a bunch of blood tests. I'm not missing any factors. My clotting factors are all normal. So it was just my unhealthy lifestyle that caused this. So I came off of my birth control, and I had to come to Jesus meeting with myself. So I graduated. Oh, I didn't even say that that December when I had my pulmonary embolism was the last semester of college, and I was in the middle of finals. So that was cool. Then I graduated, and I moved in with my parents. I left college, came home, moved in with my parents, and at this time, my parents are in the midst of their own health lifestyle change overhaul, which was amazing for them. They were both incredibly successful doing this, and so I'm living with them, and monkey see, monkey do. The food in the house is healthy and my parents are tracking all their food. So I'm going to do the same thing so I don't die. So I downloaded MyFitnessPal, which is what I use today. And I started tracking my calories to 1,400. And I started walking with my mom about a mile a day when I could. So that's all I was doing. Tracking food, walking a mile a day, and working. I was working at Subway post-grad. I was very resentful about this. I was very upset. I was in a really bad place. I hadn't gotten into dental school. I didn't want to reapply. I was working at Subway. I had a pulmonary embolism. I was living with my parents. Like, I was just very resentful in general. I was mad that I had to track my food. It was hard. Like, it's really easy to say, like, oh, I tracked my food and did cardio and, like, lost a bunch of weight. But honestly, like, every day freaking sucked. And I was unhappy for a very long time in the beginning of this process. It's not easy mentally. It's easy physically. All you have to do is eat less and move. Like, that's it. But I would get very upset about, like, why me? Why do I have to do this? And I remember a really specific conversation with my mom in her car. And she stopped the car. And I mean, I'm like an adult. I was like 21 or 22. And I was like, I don't understand, like, why, like, I'm so mad that, like, I have to do this. Like, I have to track my calories. Like, I have to go on a walk every day. And, like, other people don't. And, like, also, my husband, then boyfriend, is, like, 120 pounds, 130 pounds. And so it's really frustrating to, like, be able to watch him eat whatever he wants and never work out. And here I am, 300 pounds, tracking what I eat and being frustrated about it. So that was rough. And, you know, my mom was like, I hate it too. It sucks. But here we are. I have to turn the page. So I resentfully did this for a while. My parents happily did it. They did really well. They ended up passing me in weight. Now, this was a very hard thing for me when my parents passed me in weight. My mother has always been larger than me. And it's makes me sad to think about, like, that I was, like, not as happy for her as I should have been. She passed me in weight and I was super proud. I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Like, that's insane. But it was, I don't know why, like, somehow discouraging to me. So it was very weird. Like, I was super proud of her, but super discouraged because, like, I too wanted to do that. And I wasn't. Well, I was. I was losing weight by like 5 pounds a month, 5 or 10 pounds a month. Every time I would have my period, I would lose 5 to 10 pounds. And then a month would go by. And then I'd have my period. And then I'd lose 5 to 10 pounds. And, like, that's how my body was doing it. And it was fine. Like, it was progress. But my mom was dropping weight like a fly. And I was, like, jealous, probably. So welcome to my therapy session. So, super proud. I really was and am so proud of my mom, but I can't lie that it was hard for me because I was having my own issues, you know. So I'm tracking my food in MyFitnessPal, 1,400 calories, and going on walks. Well, I hated walking. My mom knows I did not like to walk. So again, I resented it. I did not like it. So I joined a gym because I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to enjoy it. So I joined a local gym. It was very cheap, $10 a month. And I would go every day after work at Subway. And I would do the elliptical, watch Netflix, and go home. That was it. 40 minutes a day, Netflix, go home. I probably binge watched 4 TV shows during this phase in my weight loss journey. And it went on for months. Like, this was a routine and that was it. And I would track my food and I was losing weight on a constant pace. And And I can't lie to you, this is now like a black hole in my memory. I remember ellipticaling and counting my calories and losing weight. Like, that's it. But I do want to talk about when I joined this gym. You get a free personal training session when you join gyms usually. And I was like, heck yeah, free personal training session, because they're expensive. So like, I'm going to take it. I wish I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I wish I did. I don't know. So it was a man that was my personal trainer, which is fine. And he ran me through a circuit. And then we went in his office. And he then tried to sell me a personal training package, which is their job. I get it. But he ended up breaking me. He told me how, like, what are your goals? And I remember telling him, I was like, I need to lose weight. I'm large. And I don't want to be fat in my wedding dress. I remember saying that to him, which, girl, in hindsight, you look good in your wedding dress. So good job. But that's what I told him. And he said, all right, well, what are you doing? And I was like, tracking my calories and doing cardio, because I knew, and I still know, that in order to lose fat, you must be in a calorie deficit, which means eat less than you burn. That means eating in a calorie deficit, and cardio definitely helps. And he was like, all right, well, like, you definitely need to do some strength training, and you need a trainer or you're not going to achieve your goals. And I was just kind of like, okay. He was like, you really need to work with me, because if you don't, you will lose weight and then you will gain it back. And I cried in his office. I left crying. I was going to work out because our circuit was only like 10 minutes. And I didn't work out. I left and I cried, and I went home and I cried to my parents. And I was like, what is wrong with people? Thankfully, it didn't really discourage me. I swallowed it and carried on, because he was a jerk and I don't care. But it was just messed up. I mean, it really was. You shouldn't tell people that they're going to gain all their weight back, because if I wasn't as strong as I was, then I might have just given up, and that's wrong. So, anyway, like I said, I ellipticaled every day, 40 minutes, tracked my calories. This was months. And then, I was seeing progress, right? So, 10 pounds this month, 10 pounds this month. Every month further got harder to lose weight because I was getting smaller. And I became obsessed with tracking. So I want to talk about obsessive calorie counting. This was scary. Story time. So I went to go visit my sister in Asheville. She lives in the mountains, and when you go travel and visit people, you want to be able to eat and drink at fun places and not suffer. So while I was telling myself and other people that I was okay with my tracking for this like year length of time that I was doing this circuit, I was not. I was very unhealthily tracking. One, I should have been eating more than 1,400 calories at my size. But whatever. And I was obsessed. Like, if I messed up my calorie count, it was the end of the day. So I was in Asheville, and we went to a restaurant and got pizza in Asheville, and it was delicious. It was me, my sister, her husband, and my now husband, Kyle. And we had pizza, and I came home, and I was so full of guilt from eating pizza with my sister that I lost my mind. I started crying. I was full panic. I mean, like a panic attack. My sister was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, this fear of like gaining my weight back that I'd worked so hard to lose. And that fear still exists, I just want to say. So I had more or less a panic attack about the fact that I hate pizza. And after that point, I was kind of like, your brain ain't right. That ain't good. That's not good. And thank God I was self-aware enough to realize that I had become unhealthily tracking my food. So anyway, so right around that point in time, I hit 199. So the Wonderland 199 club was a big deal. I got under 200 pounds from doing my cardio and food tracking, very healthy food tracking. Eating, my protein was up, my carbs were down. 199. Super exciting, big goal. Biggest goal I'll ever say that I had was to hit 199, and I did. But with that big goal came a big plateau. I became really complacent in the fact that I weighed 199. I've always had the greater goal to weigh around 180, at least 180, and I'm currently working towards that goal. But when I hit 200, I was like, whatever. So I kind of chillaxed. I probably got up to like 220 again. And I was like, we're not gaining all our weight back. And all of this is encompassed with panic attacks and being terrified that I'm going to gain my weight back. So I got to 220 and I was like, I'm going to do keto, because that was when keto was getting popular. So I did keto for 2 months. And I lost a lot of weight. A lot. I think I lost to 20 pounds in a month, which is a lot. And it was good. I could eat bacon, cheese, whatever, but I didn't feel good. And I don't support keto anymore. You can do it if it's what you want to do, but I did it and I lost a lot of weight, but I don't support it anymore. I didn't feel good. My body doesn't like eating that much fat. So, and then also, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of cutting out a whole food group. Carbs are good for you. They fuel you and you should eat them, whether in moderation or not. So I did keto, lost a bunch of weight, and then I had a kidney stone, which is why I stopped keto. So this is about 2 years ago now. I had a kidney stone. I had to go to the ER and get a CT scan. It was an obstructive kidney stone, which means it was sitting in my ureter, which is the tube between your kidneys and your bladder, and it was blocking the flow of urine into my bladder. So I was in pain and urine wasn't going to my bladder and was backing up to my kidney. So I had to have surgery to put a stent in to allow the kidney stone to pass. So that was fun. At this time, I also was starting a new job at my current job. And I just like, fitness was not my priority at this time. I couldn't work out because I was on painkillers and had a stent in my urethra. And I was starting a new job, so stressed. So not working out. And I stopped keto because I didn't have time for that because I was on pain meds. So another year went by. 200 pounds the whole time, maintaining, happy that I didn't weigh 300. And then after the holidays that year, I weighed 220. Here we are again. And I was like, crap. And that happened again. So if you don't see the pattern here, I wasn't putting anything sustainable in place to maintain all the weight I had lost. I was just happy that I was 200, and then I thought that it was just going to stay that way, which is not how that works. So I signed up for Beachbody, which, if you don't know about Beachbody, it is a very successful MLM, and they have really good workouts. You can sign up for their workout programs on your own without being part of a team, like an MLM team, or you can join through an MLM team and you get support from friends, and it was what I needed at the time. So I did Beachbody workouts and lost the 20 pounds and weighed 200 again. And then I don't have anything negative to say about Beachbody. I mean, I had a great group, but I outgrew what I wanted to do, in my opinion, for my goals. So I stopped and I started lifting weights. I was 200 pounds and I had a choice to make, I kind of felt like I needed to decide what I needed to do. I needed to either eat less and do cardio and get down to my goal weight, which would be under 180, or I could increase my calories a little bit, focus on strength training with a little bit of cardio, and have a more sustainable body and process. And that's what I'm doing now. So I am here today trying to build a sustainable process that I can be happy with. That's probably my biggest advice, is to find something that you like and that you will be able to do forever. Doing cardio every day for an hour is not something I want to do forever. Only eating meat and cheese is not something that I want to do forever. Only eating 1,400 calories a day is not what I want to do forever. So pick something sustainable and do that, because you'll build a routine that will be easy to sustain for you. I eat enough food now to fuel my strength training sessions, but I'm still in a slight calorie deficit. That means I'm trying to lose weight, lose fat, and gain some. I'm probably not going to gain much muscle, but at least tone my muscle at the same time. And this is going to take me a long time. I currently weigh 190, and I weighed 190 a year ago, but I look so much different than I did then, which is proof that what I'm doing is working, and I enjoy what I'm doing. I like going to the gym and lifting weights, and I like seeing how my body changes. You can lose weight and you get loose skin, and it's not cute and it's not fun, but being able to build my muscles and trim my fat and having control over that is really cool to me, and I enjoy it. So I'm having fun with it, and I think that I could have fun forever. I'm eating all food groups. I did not cut anything out. I do track my food in MyFitnessPal, you guys know. I eat a lot of protein. I track my macros. I don't eat a ton of carbs, but I definitely eat carbs a lot. And I'm happy. I'm not hungry. I let myself eat what I want. I'm not as crazy about tracking. If I go off, I go off. It's okay. Practicing the mental piece of this has been just as important as the physical piece. Yes, I want to lose weight and be strong, but I also want to be mentally strong, and I don't want to have panic attacks because I eat pizza. That's sad. It's really sad. So I'm really proud of myself, and I know that I have a huge support group that's really proud of me. But now that I've gone through all of this, all I want to do is return the gift to you guys and anyone else that's in a similar position to me. And you don't have to be 300 pounds. You could have a 10-pound weight loss goal, or you could just be trying to have a healthy relationship with food. And that's as simple as that. It's all really important. I still struggle with the mental aspect every day. I still wonder why I had to go through all of that, but I did, and I learned so much. I still feel like the biggest person when I walk into a room, and then I see myself in pictures and I'm like, I didn't know that's what I looked like, because I definitely have body dysmorphia issues. I still get upset if I go buy a size 14 pant because I have big thighs and a big butt, but I'm wearing small tops. I mean, it's just, sometimes numbers are hard. I get upset when I gain 5 pounds. I can sound like I have it all together and then I'm super mentally stable, but it doesn't go away and it doesn't get any easier really. you just get stronger and you're able to combat the mental problems that come with it. And you build a big support group. So if you are embarking on your own health and fitness journey, or you're feeling stuck, I'm here. You can always reach out to me, talk to me. I'll be your support group any day of the week. I've had people reach out to me, and I hope that I've been helping you guys. Everyone's story is different. This is mine. And I thank you guys for listening. If you're still here, I realize we're 35 minutes long. So thank you guys. If you have any questions, please, other people might have them. So you can post a comment. Share this with people if you think that they might need to hear my story or they might benefit from it. But even if you don't, I'm so thankful that you listened and that you're here supporting me. And I hope I can support you too. Bye.